So you just saw a clip from IRIM Lab Korea Tech in which they replicated a wrist, a human wrist. And I want to try and make the same thing, but instead of having perfectly cut metal pieces, I'm going to be trying and using Lego. So this is my first prototype. As you can see, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and the top moves parallel to the bottom, but it doesn't rotate like I want it to. This is just a test really to see if the frames can stop in the bottom will work. So what I just had was a 3D version of this. And here you can see that the top is always parallel to the bottom. But if you were watching carefully, in the video they actually had the links connected to the opposite sides, which would look like this. And as you can see, like this, instead of saying parallel, it rotates. So when this was like this, like a parallelogram, and it would work on a 3D scale too, then maybe if I have it like this, it might work on a 3D scale as well. Now obviously you can't all just keep them straight because they're gonna hit each other in the middle. So you need to find a way around it so they can still connect to the opposite end without hitting each other in the middle. So the workaround is this piece. As you can see, it's just a normal piece, but it has a curve in it. So when you look at it like this, eventually the points are still the same, and it can't move obviously, but it doesn't move in a straight line. So what happens when I connect this to the main model is that the pieces don't collide in the middle anymore. And as you can see, we already have a very nice prototype now. So again, it rotates just like this thing rotates, but then in 3D. So this works really nicely, and it feels really smooth. And apparently it's supposed to replicate two balls rolling over each other. And it feels very nice and smooth. The only problem is that it's obviously just way too big for a wrist. The wrist would be around this size, but this is way too big. So to stop it from being so big, I'm going to replace these pieces that look a bit weirder, like this. As you can see, the angle is 90 degrees, so it's a lot more, but they are a lot smaller, so hopefully this will bring down the size. Let me just attach it to the build, and there we go. As you can see, it's a lot smaller, and it looks really sick, but it still keeps the same nice flexibility, except this one is a bit more stiff. As you can see, it bounces back, which could be realistic, but the wrist also moves 90 degrees, so that's really hard to replicate with this model. And the problem with this model is still that the bases are just way too big, so I'm gonna have to fix that as well. But as you can see, it's already a lot smaller, more compact. So in an attempt to make it smaller, I'm gonna be adjusting the frame that first look like this to one the size of this. So as you can see, it's a lot smaller. Alright, so I finally finished making it with a smaller platform, I guess, at the top. And a couple of things have changed. First of all, I feel like it's grown bigger as the connecting rods have been more vertical instead of horizontal, since they're squished together. And it has also become more flexible. So as you can see, I can flex it a lot further now, almost 90 degrees, which is a lot better, except it does feel very stiff, as if it could break any moment. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now. It feels pretty nice and flexible, but I think it's a bit too big.